Project Zomboid Steam Workshop has been absolutely buzzing with new mods in the last few months, so in this video I'll be taking a look at the most recent ones that you absolutely need to know about for Build 42. We'll cover a mixture of quality of life mods, improvements to existing features, and brand new ones that you didn't even know you needed. All of the mods shown in this video will be linked down in the description in a single handy Steam collection. If you find a mod to try for yourself in this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's get into the first mod for today, and it's a very special one that makes cooking in Project Zomboid much more varied. This is Vanilla Foods Expanded, and to say there's a lot of new items in this mod is the understatement of the year, because there are over 1,500 new foods and recipes in this one. You can expect to find everything from canned goods, including meats, vegetables, stew, and bait, all the way to desserts such as cake mixes and puddings. What's particularly interesting to me though isn't actually the huge range of food added in this one, as much as I do admittedly love seeing beans on toast brought to Kentucky.
Brother, what's that, brother?
It's the additional features that really sell it for me. There's new cooking recipe books out there to find. There's now conveniently boxed mixes of ingredients for baking, which was something the vanilla game definitely didn't utilize as much as it perhaps could have. And you can portion out a lot of the recipes in this mod to be served in bowls or on plates for that extra immersive touch. If that wasn't enough, the creator has actually tested this mod with the popular Saf's cooking mod as well as a range of others, and it is entirely compatible with them. So you'll have a lot of new foods to go and track down with this mod in play, and I even spoke with the creator during the time they were working on this one. You should be able to find a few British classic recipes in there that I helped to add to the mix, so if you find any, let me know down in the comments, along with why you think British food is obviously the best cuisine in the world. Next up is Interactive Tailoring, a mod that transforms this otherwise relatively dull and uninvolved skill into one that's much more interactive, similar to the change in the fishing skill that came with Build 42. With this mod installed, you'll be faced with a new mini-game when attempting to repair or patch clothing. Each type of cloth is represented on the right-hand side of the interface with a variety of shapes available. On the left, you'll have a representation of the ripped fabric that you'll need to properly match with those shapes you have to choose from. Doing so successfully will grant you more XP towards your tailoring skill, which means, yes, you'll spend some time involved with the process rather than just going AFK while you work. It will grant you more XP for that time investment and thus level your skill faster as a result. Mods like this aren't for everyone, that much is fair to say, as I know many just like the opportunity to go and make a cuppa or tune out for a while as their character works, but for those that like something with more interactivity, this mod will be perfect for you. Now, speaking of more interactive parts of the world around you, allow me to introduce the computer mod. This works exactly the same as you would expect a TV or radio to function. You just walk up to it, right-click, choose device options, and from there you can open up the actual working computer interface. Currently, the main feature of this mod is playing games to reduce boredom, anxiety, stress, and unhappiness. You can find CDs for these games out in the world, which can then be installed on a computer, and you will actually need to uninstall some games too if you want to free up some space, because the memory is limited on these machines. The modder has a bit of a to-do list on their workshop page with additional features that they'd like to add in the future, such as listening to music, adding printers that can actually produce literature saved on the computer, and most importantly, they'd like it to run Doom. Now, if you're looking for a new PC for yourself that can most certainly run Doom and any other games you might be interested in, you'll want to check out today's sponsor, PC Specialist, who very kindly built me a new gaming and streaming rig earlier this year featuring a 5080 graphics card and a Ryzen 9950 X3D CPU, meaning I've been able to make videos in 1440p for the channel ever since. PC Specialists are renowned as a leading custom PC manufacturer in Europe, delivering high-performance systems for anyone from content creators like myself to working professionals and, of course, gaming enthusiasts. You can use their highly accessible configurator to put together the build of your dreams, and PC Specialist will put it through rigorous testing to make sure it meets the highest standard. So if you're looking for a new PC with none of the frustrating cable management or replacing parts that don't fit, use my link in the description description and then use code ATOMIC at the checkout for £30 off all configured systems. Thanks again to PC Specialist for sponsoring today's video. Okay, I've got a couple of quality of life mods next that make small but impactful tweaks to the existing experience. We're starting off with a mod that will make it significantly easier to set an alarm on your digital watch, aptly named right-click watch to set alarm. And doing exactly what it says on the tin, this mod allows you to right-click on the interface at the top right corner of your screen to set the alarm, something that you'd otherwise need to scroll through your inventory and find the watch there. Yet another mod that essentially aims to cut out a little extra time you'd spend scrolling or clicking. Now, Build 42 is on the unstable branch right now, and as a result, there's a bit of leftover debug information that you'll see on the right-click menus from time to time. The mod Hide Debug menu clears up all of the instances of this you'll see in Build 42 at the moment, as well as hiding those extra options surrounding fireplaces and campfires. With this mod, this debug text can be enabled or disabled at will by pressing F10. Nice and simple, but something that I'm sure a lot of players will appreciate for decluttering those right-click menus. And last of our selection for quality of life mods in today's video, and perhaps the most useful one of the lot, is More Item Information. This mod does exactly what its name suggests and adds helpful information to the UI elements that pop up when you hover over items in your inventory. This applies to all sorts of things, like, for example, displaying the amount of time an item will burn for as fire fuel, or how much longer you'll need to read that skill book before it's finished. Metal items will display what scrap they turn into when broken down. Electronic items will indicate when they can be dismantled for skill XP, and items like lighters or painkillers will tell you exactly how many uses they have left before they are fully drained. Some extra information scales with relevant skills too, such as cooking, which will present more information as you gain levels, such as calories when consumed and how many days before things will go stale or rot. An incredibly useful mod that I'd love to see integrated into the vanilla game in some way further down the line. Now, moving away from quality of life mods for a moment, but sticking with things that have changed in Build 42, I think it's fair to say that many feel firearms aren't quite what they used to be in the new version. If you share this sentiment and are particularly missing the performance of shotguns from Build 41, this mod is one you should absolutely try for yourself. It's called Shotgun Trajectory, which essentially aims to bring back the shotgun of old and once again make it a powerful tool for clearing groups of zombies in the right hands. With this mod in use, shotguns will once again hit multiple targets thanks to modified ballistics and will still support the new ragdoll animations at the same time. You can even customize the way this mod works in more detail with the optional sandbox settings available before starting your playthrough. Just a quick note here, it is not currently compatible with Filibuster Rhyme's new firearms mod, which we are about to cover next in this video, so make sure not to use the two together if you're looking for a bit more variety in your firearms choice. So, Filibuster Rhymes has been well known for his vehicle mods for years now, cementing himself as one of the all-time greats in the modding scene. Now, however, he's taken on something entirely new and is stepping into the world of firearms modding for Build 42. It's safe to say that the modder has nailed the same level of detail in this new creation as he has with his vehicle mods in the past. This one containing 13 new firearms and a range of types within that number, totaling close to 90 different variants altogether. As for customization, you can switch out just about everything from barrels and muzzle attachments to scopes and stocks. While this is personally a little bit too in-depth for my taste, I can definitely see why those with an affinity for firearms would appreciate this extra level of upgrade that can be sought out when rummaging through gun stores. Suddenly, that snub-nosed revolver can become a budget hunting rifle thanks to an extended barrel, pistol stock, and attached scope. If that wasn't enough, the mod also comes with fully functional suppressors for when you don't want to draw attention to yourself in a busy area, and working safety mechanisms for all included weapons in this mod. In the future, the creator looks forward to adding more attachments in the form of working bayonets, extended magazines, and even craftable weapon parts like wooden stocks for rifles. Overall, an extensive mod as is Filibuster's reputation, and one that should see some interesting developments in the future. Our next mod for today adds yet another alternative starting situation when choosing a new playthrough, one that puts you on the barrel end of mods like that last one we looked at in today's video. If you're still not sure what I'm referencing here, maybe you'll remember the start of Fallout New Vegas and this grinning little scumbag.
From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-karat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
With the mod Ain't That a Kick in the Head, you'll start with a gunshot wound and a bullet lodged in your character's cranium. Depending on which of the two negative traits you'll choose at the character creation menu, you'll spawn with a couple of bandages to help or with nothing at all, leaving you with naught but a bullet, a bleeding wound, and constant agony as a reminder of your torment. Oh, and that pain will greatly impede your actions in combat as well, greatly reducing your maximum health, even if you do stop the bleeding. Taking on this challenge and succeeding is no easy feat, but I'm sure it will result in plenty of nail-biting moments and more survival stories for you to share with your friends. Now, on to our next one. Have you ever asked yourself why your character has no knowledge of their surroundings when you first start your playthrough in Project Zomboid? I mean, we're a week into the outbreak at this stage, your character is immune to the Nox virus, except of course for direct transmission through contact with the infected. And yet you've seemingly woken up with a case of severe amnesia when opening your map for the first time. The mod Street Smarts aims to remedy this problem with a healthy dash of realism. The mod works in two fundamental ways. Firstly, a small circular radius is drawn around the player's starting point, and you'll have full knowledge of everything within that area, including roads, buildings, and everything in between. The second half of the mod then goes on to add a wider radius around the player in which only roads are revealed on the map. This is supposed to emulate the fact that your character probably has at least some knowledge of local transportation routes on account of living in the area before the virus arrived. Both of these settings are customizable in the sandbox options, meaning you can narrow the radius or expand it based on your preferences. Honestly, this is one of those mods that just kind of makes sense, and while it sounds simple, it does make a big difference. This new vehicle mod was recently released for Project Zomboid, and stick with me here because it's got a bit of a trick up its sleeve. This is the M998 Humvee mod, and you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, I've seen mods with vehicles before, that's nothing special, and you'd be absolutely right, except for the fact this one has a mounted gun. Fully functional and packing one heck of a punch. This thing is capable of clearing hordes of the undead so long as you can keep it loaded with enough bullets, because you will be chewing through ammo if you start lighting up your local area. Still, it's a very impactful and useful tool for clearing out hordes on roads or buying you some space while you attempt to get free of a roadblock. I can see this being especially handy when multiplayer rolls around and you can afford to have someone else riding in the gunner seat while you drive, or vice versa. But until then, it's just kind of cool to see this functionality added to the game in such a seamless fashion. On top of that, the vehicle comes in multiple variants, and all of them are fully animated for that extra touch of realism. Okay, so those of you that have played Project Zomboid for any length of time will probably be familiar with this common safe house tactic. First, you choose a safe house on an elevated floor. Second, you will knock out the stairs to cut off zombie access. Third, and most important of all, you will run sheet ropes from windows as a form of access for yourself. While this has always been a popular choice, the sheet rope method of safe house access leaves limited options when trying to transfer loot, since you'll struggle to climb the rope when carrying a lot of weight. So to help with this, the mod Attach Bags to Sheet Ropes allows you a solution for this problem. You can now attach up to 3 duffel bags or backpacks and head to the top of the rope before pulling them up, thus allowing you to transfer larger amounts of items for storage and live comfortably in your new second floor studio apartment. Next up, I'm bringing the Toughness Skill mod into the spotlight because this is one I personally really enjoy and offers alternatives to what I believe are a couple of long-standing issues with the game. Now, if you've played Build 41 and used mods in the past, you may be familiar with the Become Desensitized mod, which essentially applied the desensitized trait after you reached a certain number of zombie kills in order to emulate the fact your character is becoming more hardened to the apocalypse. Now, this mod was great, but it was a very dramatic shift. all of a sudden you stop getting panicked, which at the end of the day isn't very realistic. The Toughness Skill mod brings a more gradual progression towards becoming that grizzled veteran, with each level in the skill reducing 3 things your character is susceptible to, including the panic your character will experience during fights with the undead. It also functions in a similar fashion for the discomfort statistic that was added in build 42, which is a feature I've never really been a fan of, and while you can just disable it in the sandbox options, it feels much better having a gradual reduction of discomfort like this mod offers. As a result, you can gradually wear more and more protective clothing without it affecting your character's mental state. Last of the 3 stats this mod affects is pain, essentially aiming to stimulate your character being able to shrug off or push through more severe wounds until they're able to get patched up. Now, let's say for some reason the numbers aren't quite right for you and it feels like you're not getting enough payoff in a quick enough time frame, you'll be glad to know that everything is adjustable in the sandbox settings in this mod, meaning you'll get a more realistic, more immersive experience that's customized to your liking. Now, farming has always been an integral part of survival in Project Zomboid, and despite some of the changes that have made it more difficult in build 42, that hasn't stopped players from making use of the skill or the modding community from coming up with ways to make it easier. This is the Water Pipes mod, and it is capable of automating the watering process of your entire farming operation, using a selection of pumps, valves, sprinklers, and of course the piping needed to transport water to your crops. To get started, all you'll need to do is build a pump next to a water source and ensure said pump has connected electricity. From there, you can start to build a network of pipes as simple or as complex as your heart desires, with valves to control flow and flow meters to monitor output quantities. Before you know it, you'll have a fully functioning irrigation system that will stand the test of time and ensure maximum yield for your farming endeavors. Now, with nothing to do except survive, murder your former neighbors, and read the same books over and over again, I'm sure it's fair to say that post-apocalyptic Kentucky could probably get you down sometimes. So it's important as ever to enjoy life's small pleasures. This mod serves to make that a little bit more tangible by adding a classic arcade game experience, and one that I'm sure many of us are familiar with. This is the mod Tetriz, bringing an all-time favorite gaming experience to Project Zomboid itself, giving you something to pass the days in between raiding the Gigamart and barricading your safe house. The game is playable through select arcade machines you'll find in the world, with a full control system using either the custom designed UI or the arrow keys on your keyboard. You cannot craft the machines yourself, so you will have to seek one out. As a heads up here, there aren't many locations where you can find these machines, so you might need to travel to some dangerous areas to seek one out. You can find some at Fun Extreme on the north end of Louisville in the arcade within, and I'm sure there's at least a couple more locations that I'm not aware of, so if you know the location for one of these, drop them in the comments for me and it might serve to help out some other players. Now, if you'd like a more outgoing alternative that still adds a bit of fun to the experience and will help you catalog some memories along the way, you could try out our next mod in today's video, Zombaroid. Either choose to spawn with a Polaroid camera using the new trait offered by this mod, or find one after you start your game to begin a photo book of your journey through the zombie apocalypse. Load your camera with film and begin taking actual in-game screenshots with a Polaroid effect, whether that's a snap of your new safe house for show and tell with friends, or simply a helpful reminder, like documenting where you found that police car you want to come back to later. The mod comes with full sound and flash effects when taking a photo, which I'll note can be turned off in the mod options if that's your preference, as well as some film grain and light leaks when viewing the finished images. All of them are time-stamped to help you track your progress, and of course come with the name of the photographer. The modder notes that this one can be safely added or removed from existing saves, so if you don't want to start fresh and would like to start making your picture book right away, you absolutely can. Alright, so I think that brings us to the end of our mods for today's video, and as such, that'll be it from me in this one. But just a very quick reminder that if you haven't already checked out the Patreon, where you can support the channel and join our multiplayer server that is currently running a Last of Us themed wipe with all of the different zombie types you'll be familiar with from the franchise, which I'll tell you is absolutely terrifying at times, you should absolutely go and check it out. There is a link in the description to the Patreon. As always, special thank you to my existing patrons, and for today's sponsor, PC Specialist. Thanks everyone, and I will see you all in the next one.